What's up, Capricorn? With your April love general reading. This is for my lovely Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. This is a general love reading and may not resonate with every Capricorn out there. So let's go ahead and see what the most important messages are for Capricorn in regards to love for the month of April. So we are looking at what this person says about you when they're talking to their friends. This person has really strong feelings for you, and it's quite possible that they have confided in someone close to them about how much they're feeling when it comes to this connection. This is absolute clear confirmation that their feelings run really deep and that their conversations when it comes to this connection, I think these conversations are quite deep. I think that they are really discussing and really being open about the emotional feelings that they have for you when they're discussing this connection with their friends. It seems to me like the concept of soulmates was never really, like, it did not seem to be real to this person until they met you. So at this point, I think that this person is either sure that you are their soulmate or they're starting to question whether the idea of a soulmate connection really exists. So I think this is really important to note. This might be someone who has not been particularly spiritual in their life so far. And I think that this connection has sort of opened up a lot of possibilities for them. They're almost now wondering if things that they may have written off as cheesy, as corny, as complete BS in some situations, it's like they're wondering now if that's real. So this is something that you have brought to them. You've brought this curiosity to them. You've brought this this questioning to them. It's almost like if someone, let's say someone didn't believe that that unicorns exist, and then they swear they saw one. They were on a hike and they swear they saw a unicorn, and their entire perspective has now changed. Now they're thinking, wow, I always thought that unicorns were just like make-believe. It was just fairy tale nonsense, and now I'm starting to question it because I think I might have seen one with my own eyes, which kind of changes things. When you see something with your own eyes, it really it rocks your view. It changes your perspective. So I think that this person, I'm just kind of picking up on this energy of like there's a little bit of confusion, there's a little bit of uncertainty, there's a little reevaluation going on for this person, because a lot of things that they have insisted didn't exist. I'm feeling that for a lot of you. Your person is the type of person that, like, I want to say it's like they're a non-believer. They didn't believe that a connection could be this deep. They've always written it off as just absolutely ridiculous, and now they're starting to wonder. So I think this person feels very deeply. They feel something that they haven't felt before, and that's what's causing them to question this. They're starting to question, like, is there such thing as somebody that's perfectly made for me, perfectly matched for me, that is my other half? These are the questions that are going through their mind now, and these are questions that they never thought that they would ask. I think along with that, this person is finding themselves confiding in someone in a way that they never thought that they would. So this could be one friend in particular, family member. It could be a group of people, maybe their entire family or their entire friend group. But it looks like they've opened up in terms of their emotions with people in a way that I would say makes them feel, or would have made them feel in the past, really weak or maybe embarrassed. But it's almost like at this point, they don't have a choice anymore because they don't know what to do with the unfamiliar feelings that they're having. So I think that this person has had to open themselves up and had to become very vulnerable about some things that they would have typically either kept to themselves or ignored altogether. I feel like these conversations that this person's having with their friends like they're uncomfortable conversations. They're uncomfortable for this person to have. It was uncomfortable for them to even bring the topic up. So there's a lot swirling around in their head right now and in their heart. And even though they might not be someone who would typically feel comfortable expressing these emotions, they need help sorting through all of that. I think that regardless of whether or not they would actually use the term soulmates, actually say that out loud, actually speak those words out loud, they're aware of this connection holding a strong significance, and they're feeling an attachment that they almost can't put into words. So I feel like it's coming through that way because this is either something that they have not yet been able to put into words at all, or this is them using words that they would never have used in the past to describe anything. So I think for a lot of you, it is that they are finding themselves talking to their friends about this concept of soulmates, talking to their friends who maybe have experienced a connection like this before, and using vocabulary that they never thought they would use. I think for some of these, some of them, it's like their friends are very surprised, maybe even find it funny, or kind of poke fun at them or give them a hard time when it comes to having these conversations with them, because it's almost like they think it's so funny that now this person is coming to them and using these words or talking about these concepts, talking about these feelings that they have in the past completely written off, or blatantly like opposed, or talked smack about, is how I want to say it. They may have in the past just totally like, no, that's so stupid. And if anyone thinks that's real, they're an idiot. And now here they are. So yeah, this has a lot to do with them letting their guard down and really sharing a very vulnerable part of themselves when they're talking about this connection with the people close to them. They're really at this point finding themselves seeking out friends or family members who are in a strong partnership, or who have experienced something like this, to get their advice about like how they knew their partner was the one, or they're saying things like, I'm feeling like this and like that. Is this normal? They're asking a lot of questions and opening up in ways that they didn't think that they would. I think for a lot of you, this person might even be specifically seeking out people who they might not have seen eye to eye with before. They may have even like butted heads about some of this stuff before because they didn't agree, because this person hadn't had the experience to be able to like speak on this. And now they're specifically seeking out those people who would be able to advise them, those people who kind of presented a conflicting view in the past. So yeah, I do see that this person's really opening up. I see them becoming quite tender in a way, and there's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of confusion here. So I want to look at more of your cards and see if I can get an idea of where this connection is for some of you, because this might be something that is in separation, or something that this person has retreated from because it scares the absolute crap out of them. It's something that they never believed in before, so it's very surprising to them. Let's look at some more of your oracle cards. So we have wisdom. Oh, yes. Wonders. Oh, and taking risks. Yeah. You know, this isn't easy for them. I'm just going to say that right off. This isn't easy for them at all to confront these feelings and these emotions that are completely foreign to them, and especially to open up to and to confide in people that they may have openly disagreed with in the past about issues like this. It's not easy, but they are definitely seeking the advice of others. Like, that is without a doubt. With this wisdom card coming out, they want other people to kind of chime in and help them sort through all of these feelings and emotions. And in a lot of ways, they're going out on a limb here. They're exposing themselves and they're becoming super, super vulnerable. They're starting to understand how much this connection has opened their eyes to the possibilities that they had never considered before. And I think that there's a part of them that is really excited about this. There's a part of them that is like in awe of everything that's unfolding in front of them. And another part of them that is scared and that is having to kind of swallow their pride a lot. So if that's a major part of this connection for you, like if bringing this connection into existence or back into existence is going to require this person to kind of let go of some ego, I think that they are working through that. And the reason I say that is because they're really putting themselves out there when it comes to how they're expressing themselves with their friends or with their family. So they're already starting to drop that ego. They're starting to drop the mask. They're working on opening themselves up to this vulnerable state that they weren't willing to venture into before. So if that's something that you've needed to see from this person, just know that they're already in the process of demonstrating that. Even if they aren't demonstrating that with you yet, they are they're opening themselves up to the people that are in their lives. I think in a lot of their conversations with friends, they're talking about how awesome they think you are, because they really are in awe of you, of the connection that they feel, of the way that you've transformed them on such a deep level. They know that it would take a very special person, a very significant person to kind of make their insides do a 180, if that makes any sense. Like, that's so weird. I think the reason I'm saying that is because that's how you're making them feel, and that's how confronting these emotional issues with their friends is making them feel all twisted up inside. Just, you know, that feeling of just so much anxiety, such a knot in your stomach, like you're on a roller coaster. Like, I always call it the falling feeling, just that like rush of adrenaline and that uncertain feeling that goes through your gut. It feels like this scenario has made their insides do a complete turnaround. So it's like they're transformed on such a deep level that it is, it's amazing to them. It's uncomfortable, but it's also really amazing. And they know that you have to be awesome and significant to cause such a change in them. I really think that it's almost difficult for them to articulate. It's like they say things like they're trying to talk to their friends about how they feel about you, and it's like they say things like, oh, she's just so, or he's just so, and they can't figure out what to say. They can't put it into words what it is, because it's so many things. It's so many different things. It's a feeling, and it's really hard for them to express it. And it's like things being right and things being aligned on so many different levels about so many different things, like you just being exactly what they needed in that particular area, and in that particular area, and in this area too, that it's overwhelming for them. And putting that into words is so difficult for them to do. It's like you're gorgeous and you're smart and you're wise and you're intriguing and you're fun to be around. You're just so overall everything that they want. So it's impossible to articulate. I think that what they're doing that's smart is they're looking for people who could potentially understand this. So people that they know have felt this way, maybe people who've been in long-term relationships or who have married their soulmate. If they have anybody like that in their lives, they're going to them for advice about this, because only someone who's been in the position to not be able to articulate all these feelings would know what to tell someone. Or even if they don't know what to say, they can at least say, yeah, I felt exactly that same way when I met my wife, or when I met my husband, or when I met my partner, whatever. They'll get it. And I think this person is doing the smart thing by trying to talk to people who would get it, versus trying to have this unhavable conversation with someone who would not understand. I know I'm inventing words, but I think it's appropriate here, because I think this person might have to invent a few words to try to describe you and try to describe this connection. They think you're just magical, mystical. There's something about this that they can't explain. They didn't really think they would ever meet someone like you. That's the main thing here, is that they didn't think they would. I think even if there was a part of this person that believed that it was possible, they didn't think it was possible for them. So back to the unicorn analogy, it's like if somebody thought, yeah, maybe unicorns do exist, but I will probably never see one in my lifetime, and then they run across a unicorn. Like, it's very surprising to them. They might have thought it takes a special kind of person. It takes a really gifted person, or it takes a really lucky person to cross paths with a unicorn, and that's never going to be me. And then it happens to them, and it's really surprising. So yeah. Yeah, I think that their conversations, it's almost like there's a panic behind this. There's something about this connection that has kind of made this person retreat to a fearful place. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this is a connection that's not really flourishing the way you would want it to right now, because this person have a lot to sort through when it comes to all of these unfamiliar feelings. They have a lot in terms of their belief to get in order here. So let's look at your tarot cards and see what else we have. So we have the Page of Swords, the Four of Pentacles in reverse, the Devil, and the Eight of Cups. Okay. I'm going to tell you this. This person will say so much more to their friends than they will say to you. With their friends, they're very open about how they're feeling. They're expressive. I think that their feelings are immature in a way, because they're coming through as the Page. So their feelings are immature in terms of this being brand new for them. They don't really know what to say or how to articulate any of this, but they try when they're with their friends more than they would try when they're with you, if you're even in communication with this person, because I think for a lot of you, this person has retreated. They're not doing that on purpose. They don't really know how to articulate their feelings, or what steps to take with you when they're in your presence. So it's just so much easier for them to talk about this and try to sort through this with somebody other than you. But they are trying to. I would say they don't even have a firm grasp on how to articulate their feelings to their friends, but they are trying to do it. When it comes to articulating these deep feelings to you, it's super hard. Again, I see the effort though. Like I see the desire to do it. They wouldn't even discuss anything with their friends if they didn't have the desire to figure out how to discuss things with you. So I'll just tell you that. I feel like they almost don't know if they should feel the way that they feel. So if this is a brand new connection or a relatively new connection, that could play into why they just kind of like, they don't even know if they should have such strong feelings for you. And so there's a part of them that wants to hold that back. They want to reserve it. They want to wait because they're just not even sure. Like, they're crazy. I think there's a part of them that feels a little bit crazy right now. One thing that they talk about with their friends is the deep, strong attraction that they feel for you. With this devil card, they may not feel comfortable telling you how attracted they are to you, or there might be some kind of circumstance that makes that seem inappropriate to say that to you, but they definitely have told their friends how attracted they are to you. I think for some of you, you met this person in a scenario where you might have, it might have been a social thing where you met them at the same time that you met some of their friends or their family. And I think it's like, that was the initial thing that they said about you to whoever they were with. Like, damn, that person is hot. Like, that was like their first, it was kind of a physical attraction, or they saw your picture and they commented on it. So it's not something that they feel shy about. Like, they'll talk to other people about how attractive they are to you. They might not be as forthcoming with all of that information right to your face, especially since they have these deeper feelings. I think this is somebody who might be more upfront about physical attraction with someone when it doesn't go beyond the physical attraction. But once they started feeling more than that for you, it's like it became harder for them to articulate everything. It became more uncomfortable to say like, oh, you look so good, or I'm so attracted to you, or you're so beautiful, or whatever it is. It became really hard for them to go to that place, because once they do, there's so many other things that they want to tell you as well. And that's really uncomfortable and really scary for them. I think in some ways they almost feel addicted to you. They feel like the two of you are so perfectly matched that it's not an obsessive type of addiction. It's more like the way of a perfect pair. Like, they just think, well, it goes together, like they should be attached. A perfect pair should be attached. That's kind of the thought process behind it, but it's also a really foreign thought for them to have. I think there's a lot of worry here. There's a lot of worry on their part, that if they were to lose this, they would never find something like it again. So there is kind of like the drive to get this figured out. And I think there's also kind of the tendency for them to want to retreat. They want to walk away from this because it's very uncomfortable for them. But every time they take a step away, they're realizing, if I let this go, I might not be able to get it back. And that is so terrifying for them. There's a lot that they're discussing with you about their friend, discussing about you with their friends. There's a lot that they're saying. There's deep stuff that they're saying. Like, I think that this is beyond casual conversation. I feel like for them, this really isn't, this isn't very casual at all. I think they're selective with who they talk to about this, but when they do talk, they are very forthcoming with deep emotions. So these aren't casual conversations that they're having. Okay, let's wrap up this reading with a Romance Angels card, and we'll figure out a little bit more about, I actually want to talk about that Neptune card as well. Let's move on, and then I'll come back to the Neptune card. Yeah, let's see what we have. So we have let your friends help you, ask for and accept support from others. So that's so perfect and so fitting in this reading. Sorry, that's not fitting into the frame. I think it's funny that this came out. It's really just confirmation that they are actually in a great deal of distress, and they are open to the idea of of someone helping them. I think we're already kind of like picking up on that. They're open to the idea of getting some kind of help and some kind of guidance because they don't actually know where to file all of this information. It's all very new. It's all very new for them. So they've actually gotten to this point where they're reaching out for help and they're understanding their emotions and they're sharing their emotions, which I think is new for them. Even seeking out help and advice in this area is very new for them. So before we end the reading, I want to go back to the Neptune card because I wanted to see like if the card that you were drawn to would tie into the energies that came through for this person and what they're discussing with their friends about this connection. So Neptune, this card actually says vision. So this Neptune is about vision. It can sometimes be about getting lost in our thoughts. It can also be about prayer and meditation. I think that's so fitting here because I think that this person has found themselves lost in their thoughts, lost in that state of inner turmoil. I think that that's been a big part of this. And there's been a lot of reflection. There's been a lot of maybe even prayer, maybe meditation. So yeah, I think they are really going within, and that they see something here. They have the vision to see the importance of this connection, and they can get overwhelmed by it. So yeah, where Neptune can be kind of, it can be kind of like, it gives me the feeling sometimes of like almost drowning. So, and with this wisdom card, there's a lot of imagery here. So I feel like this person, they could find themselves in this feeling of almost drowning, like being so overwhelmed and overcome by the emotions, by the depth, by the fact that they don't really feel like they have the tools to deal with this a lot of the time. So they can get really lost in their head. They can get lost in deep contemplation and just feel like they can't find their way out of it, like they can't swim their way out of it. So yeah, I think that's all the messages I have for you. That's what your person is discussing with their friends about this connection, kind of the depth of it and kind of the fact that they're starting to realize that this could be something more than they thought. This could be a soulmate connection. So if you did like this video, if this reading resonated with you, don't forget to like it, leave me a comment down below, and hit that subscribe button. And I will hopefully see you again really soon in another video. Bye. Hi, number 2. If you were drawn to the Venus card, this is going to be your reading. We're going to find out what your person is saying to their friends, maybe their family members, about you. What do they discuss with these people when it comes to your connection? So I have your cards here. I'm going to leave your original card just off to the side here because I would like to see if the energies of this card tie in with the reading once we kind of see like what's going on here. So we'll just start out by crowning the reading. So let's see what we have. We have exchanging gifts. Okay, that's really nice energy. That's really nice energy. I think that this person, when they're talking about you to their friends or to their family member, they think that you two are very well matched, perfectly matched, maybe evenly matched, and they discuss this with their friends. They bring this up a lot, like how perfect the two of you are for each other. So this could mean a couple of different things. This could mean that the two of you have a lot of similarities, that you have a lot of common interests, that your goals in life align, that you're looking for the same things in a relationship. It could be something like that, or you have the same sense of humor, or you really get along well. It could also mean that you complement each other's differences very well and that you balance each other out. So it will be different for everyone, but I think that this person, when they discuss you with their friends, they talk about things that are really specific to you, like characteristics that you have that they like for one reason or another. And that, again, can be because it's very similar to them and they're happy to have met someone who has so many shared interests and who sees the world the way that they do. And it can also be that they're pointing out to their friends a lot, like, I always needed somebody who could balance me out in this way. Let's say I tend to fly off the handle really easily, and this person is very calm, and it brings me a really calm, serene energy, and like I just do so much better being in their presence, something like that. It could be areas where your differences really stand out to this person, and they really appreciate it. So it feels like they are focused on what you have to offer them and what they have to offer you in return, what the two of you give to each other, what both of you pour into this connection. These are the things that they're talking to their friends about when it comes to this. Now, for some of you, I'm picking up on that you might have given this person a gift, an actual physical gift. And if that's the case, they're always bragging about this when they're with their friends. It's like if someone says, like, just for example, if somebody's like, oh, that's a nice hat. They're like, oh, yeah, thanks. My bae got it for me. Or like this necklace, yeah, that person gave it to me, whoever, he or she gave me this. They will bring things up, or take the opportunity if someone else points it out. They take the opportunity to like bring you up in conversation, to draw attention to the fact that like you thought of them, that you were feeling them enough to like give them something. They like to acknowledge everything you've done for them, and they stay in a state of gratitude for all that you've given them, whether that is a physical gift or an emotional gift, or it could even be like a mental thing. If it's some sort of stability that you've brought to their life, they're constantly bringing these things up in conversation, like saying, yeah, they helped me see things this way, or they facilitated this thing in my life, or they helped me out in this way, they made this easier for me, things like that. They like to acknowledge you and what you have given them. I feel like if you're in a connection where you don't feel like that acknowledgement is like as present as you would like it to be, this is kind of helpful for you, because I think this person might be someone who doesn't say these things right to you, but they will say it like when you're not there. Like I want to say they'll say it behind your back, but of course not in a bad way. They are very complimentary when they are talking about you with others. So they might not give you the praise that you would like, or the validation or recognition that you would like to your face, but when they are with their friends, they can't help but talk about you. They can't help but brag about just even the fact. I think what they're really doing is they're bragging about the fact that you are interested in them. So any way that they have of being able to show that, being able to prove that, they like bringing that up in conversation. They feel proud. They feel really proud to be with you, to have your attention, to have your love. I feel like the two of you have done a lot for each other, so this is definitely something that is reciprocated. I think that you've been instrumental in one another's growth and development on your individual soul journey. So it's funny, as I'm saying this, there's almost kind of like a heaviness to that. So in some ways, it might be that something about this connection is really bittersweet. Like one or both of you thinks a lot about the fact that even if this connection were to end, the gifts that you've gained, the new perspective, the deep emotional bond that you've formed, it's like whatever you've gained from this, it will stay with you for a lifetime. So that is, yeah, there's a real bittersweetness coming from that. it's a nice thing to realize in a way, but it does kind of give me the feeling that this might be something that that has fallen apart, or that's in some form of separation right now. Not for everyone, I don't think. We'll look at your cards, but um, it might be that you have actually, one or both of you has actually had to come to this realization, like, this was so beautiful, I gained so much from this, and that all of that will stay with me for a lifetime. So for some of you, this person is talking to their friends about how much they miss you, about how special the connection was, but it's like I get the feeling that they're talking about it as if it's a past tense situation, something that has already run its course, and they talk about how, like, they'll never be the same again, like they've been changed and they've gained so much, and that they wish that they had you in their life right at the present moment, but they don't. So if you are in separation from this person, you're coming up in conversation still. You're on their mind still, and it feels like this is something that they talk with their friends about a lot, even if they're not talking to you, even if there's space and distance there. So we'll look, and I think for some of you that is not the case, but yeah, I am picking up on this feeling of like potential separation here. Let's look at some more of your oracle cards. Oh, okay, we have standstill. So that might be that energy. Something may have kind of just I want to look at the rest of your cards, but you know what? With this card, it's like there's something stagnant about the relationship. Something has come to a pause, because standstill doesn't make me think stop. It makes me think that the energy's not moving, the energy's not flowing. Something's kind of holding the connection back. So let's see. We have change, and we have courage. Oh, okay. Um, your person feels like this connection isn't moving forward the way that they wish it would. And that's where these conversations with their friends are going. It could be that they have withdrawn, or you have withdrawn, or maybe at this point it's really both of you that's pulling back. But they talk about wanting to make progress with their friends. That's kind of like how the conversation goes. They're trying to they're reminiscing a lot. They reminisce about the connection a lot, and they're trying to figure out kind of which way they can go with this, what they can do, what needs to change, and how they can find a way to make that change. But they talk about wanting to make progress, wanting to change things, wanting to fix things, wishing things could be different than they are. Um, Yeah. If you are not in contact with this person, you're not in communication, like the communication has dried up, this is going to sound rude, but this is the way that it's coming through, so I'm just going to say it. It's almost like they're whining to their friends. And I'm not saying that because like their friends are taking it as whining. Well, maybe I am. Maybe it is that. I'm not sure, because I don't know why it's coming through like that, but it's almost like they are they're whining about missing you. They're whining about wanting to connect with you, wanting to talk to you, wanting to do something to change this. This might be coming through as whining because maybe they have said the same thing over and over and over again to their friends, and their friends are like, then do something about it, you know? um, that might be what it is. It's not that their friends aren't supportive, but it just might be that they're not like taking the appropriate action, because we have this standstill card. So it's like things are at a standstill, things are not progressing, and they might be getting a lot of encouragement to actually do something to change the situation. Um, there's part of them that's really fearful, and that knows that they need to summon up the courage to do what it takes to bring the energy back in and to bring the momentum back in. Yeah. this person might have messed up in some way. For some of you, this person is like at fault for something. And if you feel like they are at fault, if you felt that way and you're like waiting for an apology or something, they know that they were wrong. And they talk about that with their friends, like how much they messed up. So it feels like there's a sense of regret and like they just want to do everything that they can to make things right, or to be able to give you what you deserve is another way that this is coming through. So um, for some of you, if whatever they didn't actually like destroy the entire relationship, but it's kind of put you in an emotional chokehold. That's weird. I'm just hearing chokehold. If this standstill is more one of emotion, like if you're in an emotional standstill with this person where it's like you just can't get to that next level because something happened that is kind of creating a barrier between the two of you, it's like they know this. They're aware of what they did, and they're trying to get to a place where they can give you what you deserve, where they can give you what they should have given you from the beginning. They're trying to figure out how to get to that place. It just feels like there is something about them that needs to change before they're able to do this. There's something that they need to overcome with this courage card. There's something that they have to overcome. There's something like it's not that easy for them to change. And when they're talking about this to their friends, that's part of the issue. Like that's part of why it's coming across as whining, because it's like it's not that easy for them to change, but to everyone around them, I think it looks like, Lynn, just do it, just change, just say this, just apologize, just call, and take some sort of action. But there's something about the scenario that makes it not that simple for them. It's not that easy. I feel like this person is very upfront about their feelings for you when they're talking to their friends or to their family. So there's really no question about how they feel. It's like everyone knows, like everyone is well aware of how they feel about you, or at least they can pick up on it. Like they can pick up on something is on their mind, something is bothering them. But I feel like they have been pretty straightforward about it. And just letting everyone know how they feel, or letting everyone know that I think for some of you, this person's really depressed. I kind of hate to see this because it feels like the energy that I'm picking up on for a lot of you, this really is something that's in separation. And they feel like if you're here, you really care for this person and you care for this connection, and they do too. And this could be something that has really pushed them into kind of a dark depression about this issue, or about how to change this. And it's just sad because it feels almost like it wouldn't necessarily be that hard if they would take the action. And like the two of you are so aware of the importance of this, and they especially are so aware of all of the gifts that you've given them, like everything that you've done for them, and every way that this connection is so significant to them. So yeah, it's kind of interesting that if they're not taking this action, it's interesting that they are not. I think that they've developed a lot of anxiety. And that really is a lot to do with why this is so hard for them to like take the action that they need to take, because I think in the process of being at this standstill, the whole situation has sort of blown out of proportion in their minds. It's become really big, and it's become very daunting, and it's become something that they will need a lot of courage to overcome. But I think they're also really desperate for this change. So that shows something there, that shows the desire to make the change. It's like I don't think they're going to be able to move on from this. Let's look at your tarot cards. We have the King of Cups, the Magician. Oh my goodness. the King of Swords, and the Page of Cups. I am reading this as this person coming through as the king in both scenarios. This isn't you. I don't think this is you coming through here. This is them. So this is, I think what's happening here is that they're discussing this connection, and they're discussing you and the depth of this connection in just with so much feeling, with so much emotion. They're coming through with these grand feelings and these grand gestures that they want to offer you, but they're saying it to their friends. They're not saying it to you. There's so much power behind it, though. This is why I think that the people that they're discussing this with can even become frustrated with them, because they're coming through as someone who is so emotional, who is so who's so ready. I think like with this being the King of Cups and the King of Swords, this is being emotionally ready for this, being emotionally secure and stable, and also being ready to communicate about this, being ready to put it all out there and be clear about their feelings, but then they chicken out and they don't do it. So I think that that's what's frustrating for those around them, is that they can see that this person has developed all of this maturity around this, and they're trying to grow so much, and they have such strong feelings, and they have this big vision, but then at the same time they're not stepping forward with you about all of this. If you are not in separation from this person, I can see this that way as well. I can see that this person might be expressing a lot more to their friends than they are to you, and that this could be frustrating, even in a connection that's not like lacking in physical proximity or in the communication. It's just like the feelings are so big, and the maturity and the thought behind all of this is so big, and I think the action is not quite as big so far. But with the Magician coming out here, it's like I can see their intention here, and what they want to do is they want to change this. They want to come forward with the courage to change it. The funny part is every single court card that came out, which is 3 out of the 4, these can be read as people. So it wouldn't be surprising if one of these people was you, but it's just funny because I'm not reading it that way. I don't think that any of this is you. I think this is this person, and all of the various feelings that they have, or the feelings that they have versus the action that they take. Because this Page of Cups, the page is of course kind of emotionally immature in a way. They're at the beginning. So it's like when confronted with the actual idea of sharing this stuff with you, they turn into the page, but behind the scenes, they're the king. They're ready to offer something. They're ready for a grand gesture. They're ready for stability, maturity, and like real acceptance of the importance of this connection. And they're kind of in transition. So they will shrink back into this immature page energy a lot of the time. But there is a desire here for them. It's like they know they have everything that it takes. They're well aware of that. They see themselves as the Magician too, which is promising to me, because when you see yourself as the Magician, you see yourself as someone who is in control, someone who is capable, someone who has all of the tools at their fingertips, at their disposal. And that's how they see themselves as well. They know they can change it. That's part of what makes this hard. If they screwed something up, they know they did it. They know that they have the power to change it. They know that they're the only ones who have the power to change it. They know that it can't be something that you do that fixes this. They have to. Which is like daunting. It's daunting to them. So let's look at your Romance Angel card, and then we will talk about your original card and see if it like ties into the way the rest of the reading went. So let's look at this last card. Make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. Yes. Okay. Yes, this person knows that they have to do it. They know that they're the ones that have to change. And I think that a lot of the advice that they get from their friends is that too. Like I was saying earlier, like they can almost become frustrated with them because they're like, do something then. So make the effort is very appropriate here. They are guiding and encouraging this person to reach out or to make the change that's necessary so that this can be everything that they want it to be, everything they know it can be. So let's look at the original card before we wrap up your reading. You were drawn to the Venus card, and this card says, Beloved, Venus is all about the heart. It's about romance. It's about creativity, creating something. It's about really focusing on what attracts you and what you value. So that kind of says it all here, and it almost is what we were talking about with this exchanging gifts card. They know how much value you brought to their life. They feel very drawn to you, very attracted to you. They want to create something with you. They want to build a life with you. And they know that they have to change some things in order to do that. But there's a lot of romance here, and there's a lot of talks of romantic gestures that I think they share with their friends. Whether or not they act on any of this, I'm not really sure. The Page of Cups, this could be somebody who does act on it, but maybe it doesn't quite go how they plan. But it could also be someone who shies away and who just like, I think this person's struggling to show up as the King of Cups. They will shrink back into this Page of Cups role really easily. But there's a lot of emotion here. There's a lot of love here. And in a lot of ways, there's a lot of regret too, because they value this, because they know they value it, because they know all that this means to them. And I think they share a lot of that with their friends. So yeah, I think I'm going to leave your reading there. Right as I'm about to wrap up, I just am drawn to this change card right in the center of your reading. And I think that whatever the necessary change is that you need to see in this relationship, I think that is, it's very central to the entire issue or the entire connection. And I think it's a change that you are going to see. I just got a wave of optimistic energy here just looking at this. If you have this King of Cups, the Change card, and the Magician, this person is going through something. They're working on making these necessary changes, but I think that it is on their mind. It is it's like it's central. Just like it is to this reading, it's kind of central to their whole thought process right now. And this is really, it's like they have it in their sights. So it's I think it's a little bit encouraging for those of you who are at a standstill when it comes to this connection. So yeah, I'm going to leave your reading there. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and letting me read your cards. If you like this video, if any of it resonated, don't forget to like it, leave me a comment down below, and hit that subscribe button so that you will see my next video and come hang out with me again. So yeah, I will see you again really soon. Bye. Hi, number 3, if you were drawn to the Jupiter card, this is going to be your reading. We're going to find out what your person is saying about you when they talk about this connection with their friends or their family. So I have your cards here. I'm going to set this card just off to the side because at the end of the reading, I want to take a look at it and see if it ties into some of the other messages that came through here. So let's crown this reading. To crown the reading, we have Poised. That's lovely energy, really. I read this card as being ready. This is someone kind of being at a certain point, reaching a certain level that makes them feel ready to take the next step. Maybe ready to take the leap in some way. It's like they're poised to leap, to go, to take this action. Yeah, this is interesting energy. I want to hit kind of the other side of this too, because I think that this is also the way that they feel about you and what they're discussing about you when they talk to you about their friends. So I think they admire you a lot. They think very highly of you. So they're seeing you as someone who's very almost elegant in a way. So I think you're someone who they view as always being really well put together, maybe even charming in some way. Um, Someone who they are like, they know you'll make a good impression on anyone that you meet. They would never be nervous about introducing you to their group of friends or to their parents, for instance. They would never feel any kind of worry about that because they know that you present very well, that you're very polite. I feel like that's not the right word. You know what the best word for this is poised, and that's the word on the card, but I'm trying to kind of expand on that a little bit, but that's really what it is. It's like there's a certain elegance, there's a certain way that you move through the world that they really admire. They are proud to have you on their arm, like, or they would be proud to have you on their arm. Um, I think when they're talking about you to their friends, they're bragging. They brag about you a lot. I think that they brag about your attractiveness. I think they brag about this graceful quality that you have. Maybe you have a way of gracefully navigating social situations, or something like that, because they brag about this. I think that I think for a lot of you, they think that you are like the most attractive person, and like maybe like they have the like the most attractive partner or something like that. They talk about you like they're just so proud to be with you. Um, they're very impressed. They're very impressed by you. I think that this bragging kind of extends to like the amount of success that you have. Like they view you as someone who's very successful, very driven and accomplished. And this could be even that you are on the path to accomplishing something that's very impressive to them, or something like that. Like they're very proud of your achievement. So this is another way that they kind of brag on you when they talk about you to their friends. Um, I think that this poised card really is talking about and is a sign of somebody who's seriously thinking about taking real steps toward progressing this connection, and they're discussing their plans about this with the people close to them. Um, for some of you, this could mean that they want to grow this connection with you in some way. So that could be that they want to become more committed, or like they want to be exclusive with you. And I feel like if they haven't mentioned this to you yet, it's because they are kind of running it by their friends. Like they're playing with the idea, and there are people who are close to them that they trust enough to like to kind of let them in on this. So it might be that they're like, I'm thinking about asking them out, or I'm thinking about like asking them to be exclusive in some way, or they might be like bouncing the idea of moving in with you like off of their friends to see what they think about it. Um, for a few of you, this is about a proposal. Um, I mean that in a traditional sense, but I suppose it could be something that is less traditional. So it'd just depend on like what kind of connection this is. But this, for some of you, feels like someone who is getting ready to like pop the question, and they're actually asking their friends to go with them to like look at rings, or um, they're seeking their friends' advice on how they should do this, like how they should approach you about whatever this is that's going through their mind about how they want to grow this connection. Um, but there is kind of a feeling that they are right on the edge of something, like they're ready to take the plunge in some way, and they're discussing this with their friends. So the feeling that I get, and I don't mean this in a negative way, but it like they really are they're really talking behind your back, and like a really meaningful way, and it's not a bad way, but I'm getting this feeling more than I was getting it in any other reading, because I think that for some of these people, their friends or their family member, like whoever they confide in the most, they might know something about your connection that you don't know. And it does not feel like it's a negative thing. I almost feel bad for even saying this, because if if this person was going to surprise you with something, I feel like I just let the cat out of the bag, and I feel a little bit bad about that. But I'm just, you know, I'm saying what I see, and I think that in some ways, like whoever they confide in, they know something about your relationship that you don't know, because they know that like this person's about to take some big step towards you, and you had no idea about it until I opened my big mouth. So I'm sorry about that. Let it be a surprise. um yeah, but like for some of you, it's not going to be anything huge like that. I mean, it's huge. It's progression in your relationship, but it's not like I totally spilled the beans. And maybe I'm only saying this to make myself feel better, because I do feel a little bit bad right now. But yeah, it could be that they want to ask you out, and they've discussed it with their friends first, or they want to become committed, and they've discussed it with their friends first. So either way, I mean, their friends know something that you don't know. They kind of know like the inner workings when it comes to what this person's thought process is, and how on the verge of growing this thing they really are. You might not be realizing how close they are to taking this certain step. So yeah, let's look at some more of your oracle cards. So we have flexibility, purity, and opportunity. Yeah. Um, I think that you have shown this person a lot of grace and a lot of acceptance. Maybe even forgiveness in some cases. And I think that that's one of the things that means the most to them. And one of the first things that they tell people about you when they're discussing the connection, they are pointing out all of your positive qualities. I honestly don't think that they see many downsides when it comes to you and what you have to offer, and the connection that they have with you. They don't really see a lot of downsides, but I think that a lot of that has to do with the love, and it feels like it's something really unconditional that you've shown them. You have been so open with them. You have been so graceful in the way that you handle them. It's like you handle their heart with so much care, and that makes them just feel for you even more. And it's just one of the first things that they want to say to people, like just how beautiful a person you are inside and out, how caring and how giving and how forgiving you are. um you're a good person, like that's what they see, and that's the thing that they highlight the most. You're a pure soul, and they love this about you more than anything. um what they've seen in you, I think, is that you're willing to meet them halfway. So you're willing to find that compromise. You're willing to let your heart lead. It feels like um, you've been emotionally available with this person. Like you've been really straightforward about how you feel about them, about what you're willing to do uh, to be with them, about accepting them for who they are. And there's a kind of innocence about you that I'm picking up on that they haven't experienced that in other relationships before. It feels like they always know in this connection that you're coming from a good place, that you're coming from a place of love and respect and kindness, and they really value that. And it's like they're talking to um their friends about this connection being an opportunity in a way. It's like this is an opportunity for them to have something in their lives that's really special and that's really pure, and it's like something that they don't want to miss their chance on. um this can also be about them kind of taking the leap of faith to grow this connection. So um that opportunity. Like they feel like they want to seize the opportunity when it comes to this connection, and that could be why they're right on the edge of doing something that will progress, because they don't want to leave the connection stagnant when they see how much of an opportunity this really is. Like, they don't want to miss their chance with you. And I think that's something that they say all the time to their friends, something that they openly communicate about. So let's look at your tarot cards. Okay, we have Strength in reverse. That is interesting. For some reason, I'm drawn to like the powerful animal imagery that's coming through, like with this wolf, and then we have a tiger on this flexibility card, and a lion on the strength card. So I think these feelings are really strong that they have for you, really really powerful, almost forceful, I want to say. We have the High Priestess in reverse. We have the Four of Cups in reverse. And the Two of Cups upright. Okay, whoa, this is interesting. This person's past isn't the prettiest. I don't think it's any fault of their own. I think that their past relationships have not been the best. And, you know, once I'm thinking about like how you're coming through for them and what they say about you, how they are like so willing to highlight your positive attributes, how they really feel like this is an opportunity for them. This is because they are well aware of what it's like when someone is not treating them fairly, when someone is not open with them, when they can't trust their partner. They are aware of all of this. And I think for a lot of these people, their friends were kind of along for the ride when it came to these past relationships that were really just no good. For some, I think that these feelings of insecurity that have come up in their past could have to do with like family situations or a parental issue that is kind of what they reference. This could be somebody who watched their parents have an unhealthy relationship or split up, because it's like somewhere in their past they are referencing when relationships don't go well, when partners aren't committed, when they aren't honest, when they aren't caring for each other. They're referencing this, whether this is their own experience or a childhood experience that they like something they witnessed. It feels like they were in some kind of situation that really left them feeling powerless. So they have felt powerless in their connections in the past. It's really possible that this person was deceived in some way. They may have had things hidden from them. They may have felt like their past partners were like domineering or controlling in some way, like they always had to have things go their way. And like this person felt like they weren't being heard, they weren't being acknowledged, they weren't being valued. So again, that can be childhood stuff. But I feel like that happy home feeling and that feeling of openness and that feeling of honesty is something that sort of eluded this person for a long time. And then when they met you, they see the difference. So it's a noticeable difference. It's something that they have recognized in you. This is why they want to move the connection forward. This is why they feel sure about it. And I think for anyone in their lives that knows what they've been through, they see it too. And so they understand, and that's kind of where their connection, where their conversations go when it comes to this connection. It goes to a place of like, this is so right, and I should definitely lock this down like as soon as possible, because I know that it can be different than this. I think this person has a lot of appreciation for you, and it is such a great level of appreciation, because because they've seen the other side. Um, they have that point of contrast. You know, this card, it's, you see the way that this wolf's eyes are like different colors. This one's sort of like a lavender color, and this is like a teal color. This is it's just drawing my attention so much. That's kind of putting into an image what I'm talking about, this point of contrast. They've seen it going one way and they're now seeing it going another way. They have that, they've experienced something that wasn't so pleasant, and now they can recognize when something is, if that makes sense. So having that reference point, having that contrast to really show them, like, show them the difference. I think that's what it is. It's them seeing the difference, and they do see it. It's not lost on them. They know that you're offering them something beautiful and something rare. They know that. So yeah, I think this is a process of opening up for them with this Four of Cups in reverse. This shows me somebody who has not been interested in the past and is now becoming interested. So this could be that they weren't interested in romantic connection at all because of what they've been through or because of what they've seen, and they are starting to soften to that. And they're stepping out of this place of powerlessness and of confusion. I think this person has been confused and has been left in the dark in a lot of situations in their life before this. They've never been with someone who's so open and honest with them, someone who will just show them the contents of their heart and not have a lot of strings attached, and not have a lot of mystery and games. I feel like a lot of this is games, people playing games with them, and they see the difference now. So they're seeing this connection as the Two of Cups. This is like this is divine partnership to me. This is like evenly matched give and take, something that's very reciprocal, something that is all about union. So yeah, they're talking to their friends about coming into union with you. And of course, depending on where your relationship is, that means different things. For some, it's the very beginning stages of that union. And for others, it's like locking this thing down permanently type of union. So let's look at your last card, your Romance Angels card, and then we will look back at your original card that you were drawn to and see kind of what connections we can make, how that ties into the reading as a whole. So we have chemistry. Yeah, there's his strong magnetic attraction here. Yeah. Yeah, I don't even know, like, sometimes it's just like, do I really have to say anything? Because like that's what this is. They are just in awe, and that's what they discuss with their friends. They just discuss like how right it is, how much the two of you click. They're definitely not leaving out the attraction portion of this connection when they talk to their friends. They do point out like all of your great qualities that have nothing to do with like physical attributes or any kind of physical connection that the two of you have had, but it they lead with that, but it doesn't stop there, because your connection is more than just that. There is a really strong chemistry that kind of amazes them on a physical level as well, and they definitely discuss that. The two of you are like magnets that are drawn to each other. I think you're drawn to each other spiritually and physically as well. And I think that there's something here that looks like there's an emotional healing. There's something beneficial about this relationship that feels like it heals a lot of emotional wounds for this person, and probably for you as well. So this is another reason that the two of you are drawn to each other, and these are things that this person is well aware of and discusses with those close to them. So let's take a look back at your original card. You were drawn to Jupiter, abundance. So I think that really ties in well with this, because there's an abundance of love and appreciation here. And I also think that this person talks about you a lot. Like, they kind of don't talk about anything but you. There's an excitement here, so I think that kind of ties into the abundant nature. But Jupiter is really all about expansion. It's about thinking bigger, and it's about being abundant. And that's the energy that was coming through for this. This person wants to expand this connection. They want to grow it in some way. And they tell their friends, like they tell their friends before they tell you. And that can be, again, because they're trying to surprise you, or it can be because they're just running it past their friends before they like come to you with their feelings. But yeah, they're in an expansive mindset. They're in a place of trying to figure out how they can grow this thing with you, how they can move to the next level. So yeah, that's gorgeous energy. I love that. This is the last reading I'm doing, so I always like to end on a high note. That's beautiful energy for me to carry through with me for the rest of the day. So thank you for that, number 3. If you liked the video, if you resonated with any of this, if this sounds like your connection, don't forget to like it and leave me a comment down below and let me know like what's going on, especially if this person surprises you with something, or like comes forward and kind of makes their feelings known, or makes their plans regarding this connection known. Leave me a comment, and I am so sorry if I ruined that surprise for you, but it's all good news, so I hope you will forgive me. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so that you will be notified when I post more videos, and I hope that you will be here hanging out with me again really soon. I will see you later. Bye.